Hi, it's Monday, September 21st. It's fall, and I'm Max Brantley and happy to be here. The timing's a little off on our taping today. Some things haven't happened yet, some things we're catching up on, but what you can look for later on the Arkansas blog is some news about Hillary Clinton's visit to Little Rock. She's going to be at Philander Smith College in an hour or so. Then she's going to meet with high-dollar donors at Edge Hill Road home of Khaki Hockersmith later tonight. She'll have some things to say. She's been being a little bit more aggressive of late, and some of the polls are turning a little bit in her favor, so maybe there's some relief coming to her from the long-running email controversy. Another piece of news you might look for later today on the Arkansas blog is an announcement from Governor Asa Hutchinson. He's going to be at Camp Robinson today. Says he has an announcement about a military development there. That's all we know at this point. As for catch-up on news, after we filmed Friday, Judge Chris Baker did issue her ruling in the Planned Parenthood lawsuit. She issued a temporary restraining order, said the state could not stop providing Medicaid reimbursement this week to Planned Parenthood, which operates medical clinics in Little Rock and Fayetteville. She said they have a very good chance, Planned Parenthood does, that is, in prevailing on the merits of the case. The federal government has said the state can't end this money simply because it doesn't like what the National Planned Parenthood organization does in some other states. For now, the Medicaid reimbursement will continue. The state says it will continue to fight paying any money to Planned Parenthood. Interesting story from Matt Campbell, the Blue Hog Report lawyer who specializes in digging into public records to find public officials who aren't doing the right thing. He's filed a sweeping ethics complaint against Dennis Milligan, the state treasurer, including multiple allegations of shortcomings in his ethics reports, his campaign financing reports particularly. Well, the legislature in 2015 changed the ethics law. It supposedly was enabling an ethics amendment to make the ethics law better. But in fact, what they did is they built in a little get-out-of-jail-free card for state legislators. When somebody calls an ethics problem to the attention of the Ethics Commission, a candidate has 30 days to fix it to show that it was just unintentional. Well, naturally, they will claim all errors are unintentional. Dennis Milligan filed a batch of amendments to his reports because of Campbell's complaint last week. This is what I call an ethics mulligan. We don't have much of a better ethics law. In fact, the supposed ethics improvement actually made it worse in any number of areas. Happy to say that two members of the Arkansas Times Academic All-Star team last year, both seniors at Central High School, were the state's advanced placement scholars for 2015. One's at Harvard, one's at Yale now. They scored the most number of high scores on AP tests of any male and female student in Arkansas. Good work by them. Jermain Taylor, the prize fighter, had a hearing in court today on one of several battery charges pending against him. The judge said he was competent to stand trial. Taylor didn't contest the ruling. A jury trial has been set. The judge set bail and said Taylor can go to Florida and work in a training camp to get ready to box again. This sounds to me like the worst possible idea of somebody who probably has been hit in the head too many times in his boxing career. It's sad in a lot of ways, but he probably doesn't need to be boxing anymore. Charlie Collins, a state representative from Fayetteville who's made a single-handed campaign to put more guns in more places in public life in Arkansas, has kind of broadened that campaign in the most obvious way. He's set up a website that says Draft Tom Cotton for President in 2016. Lock and load is about all I can say to that. Interesting story out of the state of Ohio over the weekend. The Associated Press reported the outcry from a number of safety agencies, national fire marshals, school protection experts, about laws that are being passed around the country that allow the sale of devices that lock classroom doors. They're being sold on the fear that an active shooter might come in and you can put a secure lock on a door. Safety experts say that they degrade fire safety codes. They could create a situation where a shooter could get locked into a room with students, but these devices are being sold on fear. The interesting thing about the story is Arkansas is exactly one of those places that passed just one of these laws over the objection of the state fire marshal in Arkansas. It's not too surprising the bill passed with little objection in the Republican legislature because stockholders in the company include a former Republican legislator, Ted Thomas, who's Governor Hutchinson's appointee to chair the PSC, and who else but Senator Jason Rapert, who lives a life beset by fear and so is always ready to sell others on the same kind of salesmanship. Not a very safe thing, but it's happening around the country despite experts saying it's a bad idea. And speaking of bad things, it was a rough weekend for the Hogs. They got beat by Texas Tech in Fayetteville. As you may know, the Texas Tech coach had some unkind words about Brett Bielema. Said he got his ass kicked, and was seemingly very happy about it. Bielema responded today saying, well, he's just getting back for after we kicked his butt last year. Jeff Long spoke to Little Rock Touchdown Club today and assures all that all will be well in the long run. We had a great discussion on the Arkansas Times Facebook page over the weekend about the merits of moving all football games to Fayetteville, something like 300 comments. Feelings ran high on both sides. If you have a stake in the great stadium debate, I urge you to take a look. I'm happy fall's here, football team winning or not. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.